Hello. So in 2020, everything changed. Lots of small and medium-sized businesses were closing, as well as customers were changing the way that they were spending money, and we could no longer go into the office to work. At the same time, it was changing for one early-stage founder as well. Zamir Khan at VidHug had just welcomed his third child and was a solo entrepreneur. He had to do everything at the business, including all this development, sales, marketing, customer support, and this was becoming a lot for him because at the start of the pandemic is when VidHug went viral.
Yo, Stefano! Good morning, dude!
Hey babe, happy birthday. I made this video to show you how much everybody loves you and how great you are. You're my favorite thing in the world.
Happy birthday, Stefano. I hope you have a great day.
Stefano, happy 30th birthday. Another year around the sun.
Thanks for making the last 2 years of my life a little more exciting.
I love you, man. I miss you.
As much as I wish it wasn't a video, I was in Hawaii with you guys.
Peace out.
So how many people here during the pandemic used something like VidHug to do special celebrations for their family, like birthdays, anniversaries? Perfect. And so during that time, VidHug went viral. So in March 2020 was when it started, and by mid-April, VidHug had already 300x'd its growth. And so at this time, this was causing a lot of problems for the founder. This also included 300 times more demand on the software, as well as 300 times more customer support calls. VidHug was just created by Zamir because he created, for his mom's 70th birthday, he was putting all of these video clips together, music, then putting text over top of it, and he thought there should be something online that made it easier. And so when he looked online, he didn't find anything, and that's where he came up with the idea for VidHug. So in April 2020, when VidHug had 300 times its revenue, he reached out to RHA Ventures. I'm pretty sure his first email said, "VidHug's gone viral. I'm extremely happy and scared. I need help with everything." And so the next day, we actually had a call with Zamir, and shortly after that, we realized he did need a ton of help and that we'd be able to support him on his journey. And so first thing that we really focused on was trying to get the human resources in place. Zamir was working 14 hours a day. He had to do everything, trying to keep the software up, which did not have a good downtime or had a lot of downtime at the moment. And he had just customer support tickets coming in constantly. But with someone going this viral this quickly, he couldn't go through the traditional hiring process. And so what we had to do was go out and try to find a customer service person. And so through our networks, we were able to find someone for Zamir to come in right away to really take a lot of the strain off of him so that he could get a little bit of time back to spend it with his kids and his wife. And at the same time, our one partner, David, he ran a development agency, and we were able to take one of their development people that he had worked with and bring him in to really help stabilize and make VidHug, make sure it was up online, and he was monitoring it almost 24 hours a day because he knew how important it was for Zamir to do that. At the same time, having such a fun SaaS product brought a lot of attention. Zamir was a tech founder, so he wasn't a person to go on in the news, share what he was doing, but CTV Your Morning and the Today Show reached out to him and were really interested in learning more about the story of VidHug and showing it off to their audiences. And so luckily, Joe, one of our partners, had a lot of experience in media, and we were located at the London Roundhouse at the time. We did have a marketing agency in there, and so we were able to set Zamir up in there with proper lighting, proper mics, proper cameras, so we didn't have to shoot it in his basement on his laptop webcam. And so he was able to get a lot of support, coaching from us through that entire process, so that he was able to have these really successful interviews, get a lot of interest in VidHug. With more time freed up for Zamir, he was then able to focus on expanding what VidHug was able to offer to its customers. And as they continued to grow throughout the pandemic, a large company approached him out of Boston. So VidHug was contacted, and one of our partners, Brian, has lots of experience in SaaS, has had 2 really good SaaS exits, and was able to walk Zamir through this entire process. It is extremely stressful selling your business, but selling the business with a new baby at home, selling the business in the middle of the pandemic, selling a business while your company is going viral is extremely stressful. Zamir said he didn't sleep for the whole process, which did take months, and he said it was very helpful having someone there to hold his hand. Brian made sure that he had him write down a price he'd be happy with beforehand. We really coached Zamir to take as much cash up front from the sale, because if he did take it in earnout or in stock, there's a good chance he's not going to be seeing that money. So we really focused on trying to get him to sort of grow the business, and then through the process, Brian was able to push back when Zamir wasn't sort of confident enough to do that, and I think he had a extremely successful exit, was able to get most of his money up front, and all of the staff who wanted to remain with VidHug were able to keep going with Memento, which was the new business. And so for us, that was an extremely successful exit. I think Zamir, after, say this is the most stressful time of his life, and I think when we started RHA Ventures, this is what we really wanted to do: support an early stage founder from he has major issues to fixing those issues to a final exit. And we wanted these founders who had these successful exits to be able to give back to the next generation of companies. So shortly after the exit, Zamir actually went invested in RHA Ventures, as well as invested into our first fund. And then after 3.5 years with Memento, was actually come back into RHA Ventures as our newest partner, and has already started working with the next generation of companies and giving back, which was sort of our initial focus. All right, so thank you for the great intro earlier. So we'll just run through this quickly. So my name is Michael Dales. I've been with RHA Ventures for the last 7 years. I grew up in an entrepreneurial family, so my parents started farms.com and agcareers.com. So I got to live through the whole, they raised way too much money, lost control of the company, we had to move to the US, then dot-com bubble, and then bought the company back, and then the whole regrowing the company sort of from scratch again. And so through that process, I learned a lot. Worked in the family business growing up, did a lot of video, mostly at farm shows, and so probably did 1,000 videos with all the large companies, and found that was something I loved. So I started a video company working with early stage companies, and found out it was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. So went to school, did my honors Bachelor of Commerce Management degree, and during that time was when we came up with the idea for RHA Ventures. So RHA Ventures. So we really exist for one purpose: to really help the founders, teams, and to be successful and grow and achieve their dreams. And so we come in as value-added investment partners into early stage companies, take a little bit of equity, but a lot of time, effort, skills, networks into helping grow these businesses and make them successful. So at the end of the day, we're really becoming a part of these, part of the team. And so we have more of a 12-month intensive process with a lot of these companies. During that time, we really figure out what they need and use internal resources if we have them, or through our large networks that we've been able to produce or build, we're able to get the right resources for them to help them to grow. And so it sort of comes back to our Founders for Founders approach. We were started by 3 founders who had successful exits. And the reason we really started it was to give back to companies like VidHug. And so with Zamir, it was a great example where he had a major issue. We were able to help him to solve that issue by using a real hands-on approach that a lot of other investment groups would not do. And then he has the successful exit, and then he buys into RHA Ventures, invests in our fund, and becomes a part of the team, which happened a lot faster than we really thought it was going to be. All right, so what we look for in a company. So when we're looking at companies, I think the founder is the most important part. Having a strong founder is extremely important. We're not coming in to run these companies, and so the founder is going to be the one who's making all of the day-to-day decisions. We'll advise them. If they do have issues, we can give them our advice, but we don't want to run these companies, and so they're the ones who are going to be worrying about payroll. They're the ones who are going to be worrying about if their product's ready to get into the market. We're also really focused on companies we can help right away. So as soon as we sign the company, a lot of times it's when we first meet the company, we're giving them advice, we're trying to help them, make connections for them so that they can then really grow the company. We've had to focus, because we see so many companies, on industries that we know, and that's where we can help these companies the most. So primarily in sort of the agriculture food space, as well as technology enabled. So it could be sort of ag tech, food tech, more sort of straight technology, but in industries that might be a little bit off from what you might see in like Waterloo, Toronto. We like to see sales when we do invest into these companies. I know that's hard for early stage businesses, but if we do see sales to customers, that really de-risks it for us, because if you can sell a product to a customer, it shows the product works, customers want the product, and I think because early stage investing is so risky, this is one of the sort of biggest benchmarks that we found. At the same time, product that's ready to be sold, if you are selling it to customers, shows that you're sort of MVP plus, and at that stage, it makes it a lot easier for us to help them. We'll help them on product, but I think that's not our main focus. Our main focus is really helping them sort of scale the business up, grow sales, grow human resources, grow sales marketing. And then just companies facing barriers to success. So VidHug, he had a lot of barriers. It was a solo tech founder. Company went viral. And so with him, it was coaching him throughout that entire process to be able to, first off, lead a team, do sales marketing, and then have help on the tech. And so one of the things that we get asked a lot is, how can I be more investment ready? I think there's no one-size-fits-all approach for companies. I think if you went to 100 different investors, you're going to get 100 different answers. And so what we tell a lot of these early-stage companies who may be in the idea stage or slightly past that, but not ready for our investment, and then probably quite far off almost from the seed round, is to really focus on your sales. If you can go out, get sales for your business, it's really going to help your valuation when you do that raise, because, again, setting a valuation for an early stage company is impossible. It's like pulling numbers out of a bag, and so you're not going to agree with the founder a lot of times on that. They may have a very high valuation, where if you did traditional valuation methods, they'd be worth almost nothing. So really getting those sales in helps pop your valuation. Financial literacy of the founder, extremely important. You're going to be the one who is looking at all the books. You're going to be the one who's worrying about money coming in and out. Especially when you get an investment, investors want you to have a certain level of financial literacy as a founder. You don't need to be a CPA, but you should have some level of understanding so that you're able to track everything, know exactly where everything's going, and you're taking someone else's money, so they need to be comfortable giving it to you. Your product solves a problem for the customer. I think this is important where a lot of early stage companies are building a product, and this product maybe fills a need, but it doesn't fill a need for the market that they're looking at. It doesn't fill a need for the customer, and so a lot of times they're gonna have to keep going back, trying. And so one of the companies we invested in teleculture, they have a device that pulls data from farm equipment, and so when they started out, they wanted to go into big tractors. And so that wasn't a big need because John Deere pulls all that data already. But they found that if they looked at little tractors in things like vineyards and orchards, that no one pulls this data. And so unless the guy wants to go in with a USB stick, download all the data, pull it out. So having something to be pulled in real time so that the farm operator has all of that information was extremely important. And then having proper systems in place. So when we're working with our companies, we like to put in and work with the entrepreneurial operating system. I know there's a lot of different systems, but it really helps you to structure sort of what your overall goals are, what your sort of structure your company looks like, and especially as you're growing, that can be extremely important. When you have 1, 2, 3 employees, yes, you can sort of do a little bit of everything, but when you're really starting to grow, scale up, when you're at that 10, 15, 20 employees, it can be extremely important to make sure everyone's doing the right thing, there's not a lot of overlap, and you know exactly what everyone's working on. Here is a list of some of the companies who we've invested in. I wish I had more time today to go through all of the companies, but maybe I'll just highlight a few quickly. So yeah, in teleculture earlier, I talked about, we invested in them quite early. We'd actually known them for a year at that point while they were trying to figure out what they were doing. It was 3 guys, not from the agricultural industry, and so they came in, found their product market in vineyards as well as orchards, had lots of success, just recently raised their $3 million seed round, and have been growing steadily since then. And then Bruce is another company we invested in. They do protein coffee. They're out of London, Ontario, where we're located. And so with them, they had a few $100,000 of sales when we invested in them, and they've actually been able to get into Costco and Walmart across North America. I believe their sales were over $20 million last year, so considerable growth in a short amount of time. And they just recently released a new Walmart-only SKU, so if you're interested in checking it out, check out Costco, Walmart. And so then final company is Haggerty Ag Robotics. This one I put in selfishly because they're my favorite one to work with, having a background in agriculture. They're taking autonomous technology and putting it into field agriculture. So we do have a major labor shortage, so it's taking these robots to do things like the seeding, the weeding, the spraying, something that had to be done by hand previously in high-value crops. Putting a robot in there, and it's able to do all of those different tasks. And so with them, when we invested, they had about 4 robots they were renting out to farmers. Farmers are slow to adopt, and so over the last 3 years, people would be like, oh, that's cool, oh, that's cool, oh, that's cool, every time they'd see it. And this year, we were able to get up to, I think we have 40 robots rented out, and we actually sold quite a few of them and had to order more. So what they're doing is taking this technology out of Europe as well as California, getting it into the Canadian market, and then since our field's inputs are different, getting it to work, and then working on building different implements for these devices. Okay, well, I just wanted to thank everyone for listening today. At RHA, we're located in London, Ontario, at the Grove at Western Fair. If anyone's interested, feel free to send me an email or to contact us through the website, and we'd love to have anyone through and see what we're doing down at the Grove.